Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Ink and Fig. My name is Alex, and today I am going to expose my deepest, darkest secret. I have mentioned a number of times in the past how I went to university and I have a degree in creative writing, and it's like, all right, bet. Where's the literature at then, Alex? The literature is right here. I have a book. I did write a book. So, way back in the time of yore, in 2012, I completed my very first turn at National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, for those of us in the know. And one of the prizes that year was to publish your work once you've had some time to edit it. I have never edited a damn thing in my life. So I didn't actually edit this. I just went straight from zero draft to published. And that's this. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to go and take a look at this situation and see just how bad it was? I have made some comments about a couple of the books that I've read being quite unedited in the past, and this I know for certain is unedited, so I want to see just how bad this is. This book is called Spectre by me. This is no longer my name. This was my maiden name before I got married, but let me just read you the back of this book. Halloween is imminent, and the city of Calgary is being plagued with gruesome murders. All the clues suggest that the murderer was not human. Detective Andrew Reed and Constable Wesley Novak request the help of Kate Elzinga, a supernatural specialist and professional exorcist. As the body count rises, they must solve the mystery behind the murders and put the ghastly perpetrator to rest once and for all. So, I wrote a ghost story. I don't remember this being good. I know that I finished it, which was kind of a big deal because I've never written anything, or I had never written anything of this length before. And, it's actually bound. It's a book. It has an ISBN and the whole 9 yards. This book, spoiler alert, is not for sale, will never be for sale, and nothing that you you say or would like to say can change my mind on that. This is remaining private. However, how fun would it be, I thought, if I were to read this fully. This is going to be a spoiler full video, which is fine because you're never going to read this yourself. And just let it rip, just absolutely show younger me what's what. No holds barred. It's gonna be spicy. So, I don't know, yeah, just, this is gonna be super cringe, and I'm okay with it. Let's do it. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna start. I'm nervous. Yeah, we just gotta rip the band-aid off. It's fine. Like, it can't be that bad, right? Okay. I just finished the prologue. I have suddenly, I have higher hopes for this than I think I did when I decided I was gonna do this video. So I have that going for me. Because we're spoiling the whole plot for this. Basically we have a guy who's going for a walk on the 28th of December. Sorry, the 28th of October, very, very early in the morning. And he's hearing the voice of his dead girlfriend. And then he is approached by what looks like a teenage girl. And then she kind of hulks out and tears his stomach out. So that's kind of fun. All of that happened in 3 pages. So we're gonna see where this goes. But, yeah, not a bad start. I'm okay with that. Hello, good evening. It is another day. I am in a completely new place. I am staying over at my friend's house tonight, and we were going to be doing some reading today, but we ended up playing Scrabble instead. And sometimes that's just the way life works out. However, I do have some updates on Spectre here. I am approaching a third of the way through, and I have some critiques and some revelations so far about this book. First of all, when I published this, I didn't realize that the company that I was printing it with wasn't actually going to be doing the formatting for me. So the pages in here actually are not numbered. So to figure out how many pages are in this, I would have to go ahead and actually count them by hand, which sounds awful. So I'm trying to decide if I actually want to do that or not and see if I'm actually like driven enough to figure that out. At the moment, the answer to that is no. The scariest thing about this horror novel so far is the typos, because again, this went straight from zero draft to publish. I didn't even do a line edit. I did no kind of proofreading of any sort, so this is just absolutely raw, straight from my head onto the page. Is that the best approach? No, I was dealing with a lot of mental health stuff at the time, and the best thing that I could do was put down 51,000 words on the page and leave it at that. And that's what I did. Shockingly, this actually isn't that bad. The way that I remembered this was being a lot more cringe and sort of like unhinged than it actually is, because essentially where this was coming from was kind of the point of view of like a supernatural fan fiction without being a fan fiction kind of situation. And although it kind of reads like that, it also kind of reads more like CSI Ghost Edition. So like that's also kind of cool. The story is shaping up pretty okay. The plot is actually kind of intriguing. Like, I forget enough of how this goes that I'm actually looking forward to seeing what happens next. There's not a lot in the way of character story arc going on in here. I do a lot of exploration of the character backstories, but not a lot of like figuring out what they're all about and like what their motivations are and what they want to do. It's more like, this is a person, this is their career, and this is what they're doing in this book. Which is fine, but it's like kind of formulaic and frankly a little bit boring. And that's fine. This is the first novel that I've ever written. And I'm kind of happy with how it's turning out so far. I haven't cringed almost at all, which is kind of cool, and I'm happy about that. I'm not going to say that it's a good book, because it isn't, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'm taking that victory and running with it. As far as the plot goes, so we had the guy die at the beginning, and a detective and a bunch of police show up to start investigating, and the story is following one of the constables and the detective. The constable, as it turns out, knew this ghost hunter from back in the day when his cousin had her house haunted by a poltergeist, and he was sucked into the world of the supernatural, and this ghost hunter named Kate came and saved the day. So he had her number, and when they started figuring out that the person who killed this guy might not be a real human being, he called her up and is having her come in to look at the evidence. So she has looked at the evidence. They have determined that it is a malevolent spirit doing the murders. We are up to a body count of 3 so far. And what I had forgotten was I actually did some point of view chapters from the ghost's perspective. So each of the people who died has a ghost associated with them, a dead loved one. And somehow these dead loved ones have pissed off the specter who is now killing their living family members. We are following the ghosts in a couple of the chapters to sort of see how they're trying to solve the problem and how they're possibly exacerbating the problem. And then in the alternating chapters, we are also following these 3 people around as they try to solve this ghost haunting. So that's where I'm at right now. Again, I'm only about a third of the way through, but I am sort of hoping to finish this within the next day or two, because I want to have this video edited by Saturday, and it is currently Thursday night. So I have a lot of hope for how this is going to turn out. So I'm at a better place than I was when I started this video, I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling a lot better about my writing ability. and a lot better about myself as a consequence of that. So I am happy, and I will touch base with you soon to let you know how it goes from here. Okay, so quick update. The ghost has been located. They know what's happening. We have a new monster hunter involved. I remember writing about him because he's kind of fun. He's like this old drunk guy who drives around in a beater of an old truck, and he's just a very colorful guy. We have a plan in place. We're going to find the ghost's body, and we're going to exorcise it, and they're going to try to keep other people from dying in the meantime. And that seems to be the plan so far. I am taking a quick break from this. I'm doing pretty well, though. Like, I think I've only got, like, a third left, so I've made some really good progress so far today. I have to go and run some errands. I am getting my nails done, and we're going to fix this little problem over here. And then I'm going to go home and hopefully finish this tonight so I can tell you how it all turned out. And, yeah. I think we're getting into the home stretch, and I feel like the cringe might amp up shortly, but so far this is nowhere even remotely as cringy as I thought it was going to be. So, like, I'm really, really proud of that. Yes. All right. Let's go fix this situation. Wait, what? Oh. This is very confusing. Well, I'm done. This was actually a wild ride. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest with you. I didn't think, like, I think I have some very interesting expectations of younger me, and not very high expectations at that. And yet, this was actually a rather impressive piece of work. Since the last time I updated you, we came up with a plan to find the ghost, which was to find her body and exorcise her, basically. So the ghost hunter had to go and basically solve a 20-year-old murder. And meanwhile, everybody else was trying to keep the ghost from killing again. This encountered mixed results. A lot of people died. The people that we thought were going to die did not die, so that was kind of cool. And we did find the body, so that all worked out. In and amongst that, we got the backstory for the ghost, which, like, the crime itself was kind of interesting. And then I ended up going into depth about how a malevolent spirit is created. So basically, this girl got killed for a deal with a devil, and the devil took her soul, and her body was laid to rest, but she was still left behind, or the consciousness was still left behind. And then she was trying to fill the hole in herself with the spirits of other people that she killed. Like, that's kind of a cool take, in my opinion. I don't know. Then, at the very end, I thought that we were kind of out of the woods by the end of the book, I think it was the second last chapter. I remembered killing one of the main characters in my head. And the way that I thought I remembered it, by the time I got to the end of the book, I thought that we were out of the woods for this one because, spoiler alert, I did write a sequel to this the following year. And I thought that maybe I killed him in that one because the whole setting for how I thought I killed him never actually came up. Turns out I killed him in a completely different way. So, like, second last chapter, boom, the police detective is disemboweled and is no longer with us. And I was, like, shocked. So, you got to see that, I think, in one of the last clips, which was amazing. I'm actually really impressed. Who would have thought? I actually wrote a pretty decent book. Now, we're going to put this up to the test of my new star rating system, which we developed in one of my last videos. I think I'm going to give this book 3 stars. 3 stars for me is fine. I don't think it would go as high as 3.5 stars for good. Maybe 2.5 needs improvement, because it does definitely need a lot of improvement. This was a 0 draft, as I mentioned, so there were a lot of typos, a lot of plot holes, and a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have done the same way if I were to do this again. But it actually was a pretty solid story. So I don't know if I'm trying to rate it so highly because I'm surprised at how well I actually did, or if the book is actually good. But I've been discussing it with my husband, who read it a year or 2 after I wrote it, and he said it was actually pretty good. And I trust his taste. So I think I actually wrote a pretty okay book, and if I put some effort in to, like, editing things and wrapping things up, maybe I could actually come up with a decent and marketable book someday. Who's to say? In only 2 weeks short time starts November, and therefore National Novel Writing Month once again. So I'm probably going to be participating again this year. If I were to succeed, I think it would be my 5th win. I haven't tried it every single year because mental health has been bad lately, but I would really like to give it another shot. And after having read this, I think my morale has been sufficiently boosted to a place where I think I'm willing to give it a shot. So, thank you very much for coming with me on this journey while I read Spectre, my very first novel that I ever wrote, and that is actually surprisingly not bad. I am counting this as a win. Comment down below and let me know if you would like me to do a follow-up video to this in which I read my sequel. I will have to go and locate the sequel because I didn't actually have that one printed, so I would be reading it off the Word document. But I might just, and I might make a video about it if you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it so that other people can come and join the fun and see all the cool stuff that we are doing over here. And subscribe if you have not yet subscribed so that you do not miss any of my future videos, including a sequel possibly to this one, and all of the other fun stuff that I have ready for you coming in the next couple weeks, because I think you're going to really like some of it. Go ahead and follow me on all of my social media at Ink and Fig. I am on basically everything at that handle, so you can come see what I'm up to in other areas of the internet. And until next time, thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.